All right, everybody, we got something a little
right.
different for you today. Yeah, Dylan just uncovered his eyes in post. What? All right, Dylan, we've talked about this before, but I did not tell you what we're doing. Everyone who clicked on the video knows what we're doing by now, but it's time we have ourselves a discussion, because I want to know your opinions of what would happen if every Pokemon trainer was in Smash.
Oh.
So with no time for thinking,
All right.
we're just throwing you into it.
All right.
For those of you who somehow don't know and you clicked on this video, there's two Pokemon trainer. Well, I mean, there's Pokemon Trainer in Smash. It's based off Kanto. We got Squirtle, Ivysaur, Charizard. That's the team.
Yep, red and
so,
leaf.
What if we went further? What if Gold and Silver,
Brendan,
Johto Trainer,
Crystal,
was
and all
in
those.
Smash?
Yeah.
What would you want their team to be? Do you want to know how I decided? I'll show you what mine is after it. I want to show you. I want to hear yours first.
All right.
Do you want to know what factors I used to decide mine, or do you
Yeah,
want to go?
let's base this off what you originally thought.
So there were three things that I based what my thoughts were on.
Mm-hmm.
One, the number one, this trumped all else. Which of them would be the most fun to play as?
Okay.
Two was the coolness factor, which ones just looked cool enough to me.
Yeah.
And three was how easily do I think I could think of a moveset for them that would be different from others.
Okay. I get behind
So those
that.
were the three that I based it off of. So just to go fully get it, we're going it off of, since we're doing Johto Trainer first, you can pick any of the evolutionary lines of Chikorita, Cyndaquil, or Totodile.
Okay.
But I'd like to try to keep the theme the same as what Pokemon Trainer is. So one final evolution, one middle stage, and one first stage.
Okay.
So what do you think you would have it be?
I think that it would probably make the most sense. In this order, the Squirtle I would want to see as Totodile, since he's probably the most popular of the starters in their baby form. I'd say like Cyndaquil is probably second, Chikorita third. The second stage, the Ivysaur, I would actually want to see Bayleaf. It's funny because I'm exactly following.
Yeah, you're following the exact same premise.
And then Typhlosion, I would want to see as the final Charizard form.
Okay, and what is your reasoning for Bayleaf and Typhlosion?
So for Bayleaf, I honestly would like to see someone who is like a larger version of like a Bowser Jr. kind of character that's more based around like throwing things, being an annoyance.
I see.
And I don't really see that with Quilava.
I see.
And then Croconaw, I don't really see it the other way as well. But like a heavy character that's more about like keep away.
Totodile?
Yeah, Totodile. But like I just don't see that with either of the lines. Like I could definitely see that with Bayleaf though. Like Seed Bomb, give a synthesis style move. One of those deals.
Well, here's how mine went. Boom.
Ah!
That's what I thought would be making the most sense to me.
I like that.
Chikorita, Quilava, Fraligator. So my reasoning is because for Fraligator, honestly, it's because I thought a big croc alligator would be really fun to play as.
Solid.
I thought it'd be good to have someone with some good, make him the heavyweight of the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, solid physical attacks. Quilava won because, I've always thought Quilava looked the best of the Cyndaquil line.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cyndaquil, just looks the coolest. And Chikorita, the reason Chikorita ended up as the first form is because I was originally thinking Bayleaf too, but then I realized, the body shape of Chikorita's line is all the same.
Yeah, it doesn't really
so
matter.
No matter what moveset I give one, it actually would make sense on the others as well.
Yeah.
So that's how Chikorita ended up there.
That.
I won't go into full detail about what I thought all their moves were. Maybe we'll save that for another video, but let's just keep that moving. So that's how our Johto teams would go.
I like it.
Now let's move on to Hoenn Trainer. All right. So what do you think your team would be for Hoenn Trainer if they were in Smash?
I'm going to say that I definitely believe that Combuskin would be
your middle one?
The middle stage, yes. That one is very, very evident to me. The question that I've got for myself is, do I like having Sceptile or Swampert as the big boy? That would be the hardest one for me going with that. And I'm leaning towards Sceptile, but I know that a good portion of that is me having a bias towards him.
You're a big Sceptile fan?
Exactly. But like a heavy but fast character would be really fun to play as. And then you get, Mudkip, which is probably like the most popular of the three as the baby form. So I'll say Mudkip, Combuskin, and Sceptile.
Okay, we're getting similar tracks, but a little more matchup on that one. I was thinking Mudkip, Grovyle, Blaziken.
That's fair.
So, starting with Blaziken as the final evolution. The reason I thought of that one is because I just figured, Blaziken's a bit iconic.
No, absolutely.
In that Blaziken was used a lot through a lot of different generations in world tournaments. So I just figured, and honestly, a fast heavyweight kind of fits Blaziken's mold too.
I was thinking like a mix between like Captain Falcon and like a Fox with the emphasis on kicking.
Yeah, a good way to go with that one.
Yeah.
Grovyle again fit the Quilava mold for me, and that it's just kind of like one of those actually cool looking second stages instead of the awkward ones.
Yeah.
And Mudkip was actually kind of hard because I actually really thought about having Swampert in too.
Yeah.
But Mudkip ended up as the first stage just because of memes.
Yeah.
Mudkip's very in meme culture. Yeah, Marshtomp was actually the one that was easily taken out.
Yeah.
Nothing against you Marshtomp fans, but it just, in Smash concept, I didn't know if it would work. But
that's fair.
That's generally the idea I was thinking for that one. Now let's move on to Sinnoh Trainer.
So I think
this one was a little hard for me to think of one that I liked enough. Because honestly, there are other layouts from what I did that I thought could have worked equally well.
I'm going to go against the grain. I absolutely want to make it so that Infernape is the third stage.
Yeah?
I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go against that, and I'm going to say that I would want it to go Piplup, Monferno, and then
Torterra?
Torterra.
All right. What's your reasoning?
Okay, so Piplup down at the bottom. Again, cute little baby, really popular, makes complete sense to me. Monferno makes sense to me to make it like a Diddy Kong clone almost. And then for Torterra, we don't really have a lot that are kind of super heavy, down low kind of characters like that. And I feel like he would have a really nice moveset, like, making use of the tree that's on his back and everything else like that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Alright, so that was my original layout, so now I kind of wish I kept it.
I
I changed things a little bit, but I like the track you were on, because I did Turtwig, Monferno, and Polion.
Okay.
I like the idea of Monferno being the second stage more than Infernape as well. I don't know why. I just really liked the idea, because originally I did actually think of Infernape for the third type as well.
Yeah.
For the third stage. But I really don't know why. I just suddenly, out of nowhere, started getting drawn to Monferno, being like, I feel like Monferno would actually be the most fun to play as out of the Chimchar line.
Look at his design is just like perfect little chaotic monkey
I
energy.
feel like I did not appreciate Monferno enough during Gen 4 for its design.
Solid.
So I went with Turtwig as the first stage one just because honestly that one may have been a little bit of bias. I really like Turtwig just by design.
Yeah,
just
Turtwig is built nice.
Grotto was never going to make it.
Grotto, yeah.
Torterra was going to be a really cool contender, but I just couldn't think of I couldn't get the idea out of my head of how cool would it be if we had the metal pink one.
Dude, absolutely.
Not necessarily a strength character, but just one that's durable.
durable and then kind of like a sword user almost.
Yeah, exactly. And Torterra also could have fit that mold for durable, but I got this idea of like Empoleon being able to block attacks with like its wings.
Oh,
And,
that's
like,
solid.
It sounded just so cool in my head that it's like, and like then it's like, but then what if it also just uses Bubble Beam for some reason?
Dude!
And I was like, this sounds like too cool an idea to get rid of.
You know what that reminds me of? Pit's Downbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides blocking out projectiles. That sounds
It just
solid.
seemed like a unique way to go, so that's
No,
how I
I
ended
like
up with
that. I like that a
team
lot.
Formation. A good team right there.
Yeah.
I probably should be asking by the end of it is like, which team do you end up liking more? What I did or what you originally thought of?
So, going back to Johto, I'm going to say I like yours a little more just because I think Feraligatr would be so much more fun than Typhlosion.
If we've learned anything by King K. Rule's inclusion, alligators and or crocodiles are really fun to play as.
Yeah. Dude, genuinely.
You want to make your fighting game more fun? Throw a crocodile in there.
Yeah.
Throw some kind of lizard in there.
I think for Hoenn, I think I'd prefer mine.
Sceptile
I like
was
the
one
idea.
that was really hard for me to not include, but I just thought, Sceptile and Grovyle are equally cool to me. So
No, absolutely.
that's how I was able to do with that one.
I felt like with Grovyle, it was going more towards Greninja vibes. And I figured with Combuskin, it would be more of like a smaller, more compact version of like Captain Falcon. And then with Sinnoh here, I can get behind the Empoleon. The idea of just like a heavy, durable sword user kind of feel to him, I like that a lot.
Like, we got a lot of strength sword users, but like, I just thought, what if there was like just a more heavy, durable one?
Right,
Like, more,
you kind of get
more
that with
defense
Ganondorf,
focused,
but like not enough.
Yeah. So that's just where the idea went there. So from there, we move on to Black and White and Black and White 2 alternate skins. Gen 5. This one was actually kind of hard for me because, actually, I think only 2 of them were kind of hard for me. So, Unova Trainer, though. Where would we go with that one? Because I'd like to say in the context of trying to put them in a fighting game, they definitely have, like, the more unique
Designs
to them when trying to put them in the fighting game context. I remember what I've put down as my answer, but now I kind of wish I could switch, but I've already locked it in. So
I'm going to say Oshawott, I forget the middle line for Tepig.
Pignite.
Pignite, thank you. Oshawott, Pignite, and Superior. That is, I'm locking that one.
You wanna tell me your reasoning?
We don't have a lot of characters that aren't like snake built. Like, I think that would be like a really fun deal where it's, a character sliding across the ground. And then Emboar would be cool, but I think Pignite would be just as fun.
Yeah.
And then Oshawott, Samurott kind of and then Duat is also just kind of Like, Oshawott feels like the right one.
Okay. Well, I might end up liking yours more, but let me go ahead and share with you what I had. Boom. So I have a Snivy, Duat, and Emboar.
Yeah.
The idea I had behind it is because similar with let's start with Snivy. Originally, the change I wanted to make is that I was like, man, maybe I want to switch Snivy and Emboar and get Superior in Tepig.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea. That was one I wrestled with for a while. But I think somewhere along the line I ended up concluding that, Snivy's snake enough, but now it's like, no, Snivy wasn't snake enough. I should have gone the Superior route.
Yeah.
I still think I would have Duat as the middle stage.
Fair.
I think I like the idea of dual Samurai Otter.
No, absolutely. That's fair.
And Emboar, at the time, I just thought, what if we just had a heavyweight that was just kind of like thinking of like how Incineroar would be and how I thought Blaziken would work in my head in this. I thought, a good in between of the two, but just like kind of clumsy.
Okay, so like if I can equate this, he is the Crom to Marth and Ike.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's kind of how I was thinking it. I almost thought it'd be funny to have him like, what if he had like something similar to King Dedede's up special.
Oh. Yeah.
I wanted him to have like a lot of hitting the ground based moves.
I get behind that. Yeah.
That was more my idea. I guess I should have worded that a little bit better. I wanted his moves to be more focused on just like
straight
slamming things and hitting the ground.
Yeah.
But I also agree with your stance that Pig Knight probably also could reach the same effect. So I think I ended up liking yours more, which was very similar to my original, but let's go ahead and move ourselves on. So I want to hear your opinion on this one. We're moving on to the Kalos Trainer, X and Y.
Yeah.
Greninja's already a character.
Yeah.
So I'll just let you know how I did this. I decided in this scenario, in this context, Greninja is still a separate character. So Greninja is out as the final starter, as the final line. You're picking 3 different ones.
Okay.
You're not adding 2 onto a team with Greninja. Greninja is staying separate.
All right. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I know we already have way too many Pokemon in Smash, but we're putting more in.
Exactly.
We're going to keep putting more in.
All of them.
Until all of them are in the game.
If that's going to be the case, I think the way that I would want it to go is Frogadier. Or if we could swap out and say put, I don't know, Aegislash?
We're still doing starters.
I'm just saying.
We're still doing starters.
Aegislash could be
cool.
a starter, but
that would be pretty neat.
I'd say probably like Frogadier would be the middle line. I would probably take Delphox as the third, and then Chespin as the baby.
Okay, you ready for mine?
Yeah.
Here's what I thought of.
I get behind that. That was actually my first thought.
Braixen, Chosnot.
Yeah.
I'm actually proud of this one, because I have a lot of reasonings behind this one. Where do you want me to start? I'm actually, this is the one I actually, for some reason, put the most thought into.
Yeah.
I'm proud of this one.
Let's start with the baby.
All right, Froakie. Reason I picked Froakie over Frogadier is because of a few episodes of the X and Y anime I've seen. A main strategy that they did a lot was having Froakie use these Frubbles to utilize in battle, which I think was just something that was lost when it evolved, because it just didn't have them anymore. So I thought Froakie would be different enough from Greninja with like utilizing those Frubbles as an effect.
See, that's funny because I thought that Frogadier was like perfect enough different for the sake of him with the name being Frogadier, that he would be like more bomb, like throwing out things.
I like that still. That's actually a pretty good one. Now, let me tell you about Braixen. Here's why. I almost did Fennekin.
Okay.
But I wanted it to be Braixen because I don't remember if that's when it gets the dual psychic typing, but I know it's at least when it can start learning psychic type moves.
Yeah.
And so I thought, what if it was just more focused on all like distance, like a combination of psychic and fire. It doesn't really have a lot of close range options.
Kind of like a Princess Zelda kind of feel to it.
That's what I was thinking. That seemed like a really cool way to go.
Yeah.
And as for Chosnot, I wanted to make like I despite his size, I feel like he could be a heavy counter punisher.
Oh.
Because like one of his signature moves like is a counter itself
shield,
with Spiky Shield. So I just thought, it could be a really interesting way to take the grass type and turn it into like something that's really counter based.
So like I'll tell you that the reason I didn't pick Chestnut was I felt like he would just be another like grass Bowser kind of feel to it. And I thought like Delphox had like this idea of, kind of like a Mewtwo Zelda deal where it's more about like messing with the opponent and keeping them far off kilter kind of deal.
Hearing this though, how would you change anything about your Kalos team? I think I forgot to ask about the previous one too.
I'm happy. I definitely like the idea of Frogadier being able to be like a snake kind of deal, just like taking, setting down like
water mines,
bombs, and all that. That sounds like a lot of like a good keep away character to me.
Mm-hmm. So you think you'd keep your Kalos team the same?
I might swap Chestnut and
Delphox.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Have Chosnut and Fennekin instead.
Yeah.
That was almost my original team, but that one's a little harder to play out, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Losing one that you absolutely can't. So is the same thing true for like Incineroar?
Oh yes. Now that we're moving on to
So,
Sun
yeah.
and Moon, I followed the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
Incineroar is still its own separate character.
Yeah.
How would you build
that? I'd probably take Torracat as the middle line. That one makes the most sense to me. See, it's hard for me to say because I know like Decidueye would be a very fun character to have, but I don't know if I could say that Rowlet couldn't fill that same position.
So where do you think you're gonna land on this?
I think I'll go Rowlet and then I'll have Primarina be the...
Okay. I thought that was going to be the one where we finally lined up, but you said Torracat first, and I was like, perfect, but yeah, I have Popplio, Torracat, and Decidueye.
Mm-hmm.
My reasoning for Decidueye is because before Incineroar, Decidueye was actually one of the ones considered as well.
Yep.
I think a heavy Archer would be really good. I know we have Archers in Smash already,
Right.
but I feel like they're not Archer enough.
Yeah, it's...
If that makes
definitely
any
be
sense.
like his side smash would be knocking an arrow back and letting it go and having it have an extended hitbox.
Yeah, so I just figured something more with the Archer concept. Plus, we got some cool ghost stuff we can throw in there.
I didn't even consider that. I keep forgetting that.
That Decidueye's part ghost?
Yeah, because it genuinely doesn't look ghost type. It just looks like a really cool grass type.
I also went with Torracat. I don't know what your reasonings for Torracat was. Mine were just because I think Torracat had a better design than Litten.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Litten and Torracat would play too differently, but like when I thought about like Litten, I saw its body doesn't really look like it's as much for combat as Torracat's either. It doesn't have like the long claws, like long limbs for like the
its head is like 75% of its body.
Yeah, so Litten cute. But, for a fighting game, I thought Torracat was the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
As for my reasoning on Popplio, I just don't really care for its evolutions. It was just kind of an easy drop. I thought, with this water type, let's actually give it a lot more ice-based moves. Even, just because that could be a fun way for it to, move around, and it is a seal at the end of the day. So that's where I... went with that one. So that's how I would do my Alola trainer.
I like it.
If you will. And now we're moving on to Sword and Shield, the Galar trainer.
Yeah.
So how would you set up your Galar trainer?
So we don't have any representation so far with them, so I can pick whoever I want.
This one won't be like the
the last two.
Fact that there's a Greninja and a Incineroar in there.
So out of what I'm thinking, I think that Thwackey I would pick as the middle, just because I feel like it's the same thing where it would just be grass DK. So I figure let's have Thwackey be the middle. I think my heart is taking me towards having Cinderace being the top dog, and then having the Crybaby Sobble being the baby.
Okay. We are very different on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I went with Scorbunny, Drizzile, and Rillaboom.
Fair.
Scorbunny is just because, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I feel like when Sword and Shield was coming out, they really pushed Scorbunny.
That might be true.
And Scorbunny, just of that evolution line, I kind of just like Scorbunny the best.
Fair.
And when it comes to Sobble's line for Drizzile, I like Drizzile more than its final stage and its first stage. I think it's a good in-between of the two. Still has a bit of that sadness of Sobble, but a little bit of that secret agent from Inteleon.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it can do a nice the water pistols technique and things. As for Rillaboom, I was also worried too that he was just too much grass DK.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized, I don't think we could have enough gorillas.
Damn, you got me.
I thought the idea of like a lot of his attacks being based around like taking out different kinds of drums came into my mind.
Oh.
Which I know gets a little weird, but I thought that would be
yeah.
a fun way to go. But there was a lot that could be done there.
Yeah. Like, the possibility is there. For me, it was a deal of, like, thwacky sounds like a lot of fun. Just like...
I didn't want to...
dual-handing, sticks running around.
Yeah, it sounds chaotic, but I just don't like Thwacky's design.
No, I thought between, like... So, like, we can both sit here and agree that, like, Raboot, Thwacky, and Drizzile are kind of like the weakest middle stages,
liners,
right?
Yeah. I can say that.
So it was kind of like just pick the one that like makes the most sense. But all right, I like that. Right. I can get behind that.
We've got one left, buddy.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yes, see.
All right, Paldean trainer.
Paldeans.
Yeah. What are we gonna do for Paldea? Those school uniform kids.
Yeah. So, I am of the opinion that as far as the grass goes, Sprigatito, no, and Florigato, also no. I think I have to say that Meowscarada would take out and be that. I'm kind of stuck here because I don't really like. Is it Quavel?
Oh! I don't remember how to say it. Quackable.
Quackable.
Yeah, I'm a little rusty on the newer ones. Names still.
The middle stage, but like Crocodor or whatever, Croconaw.
Fire Croconaw.
Fire Croconaw is also kind of like ugly to me too. So it like I would have to probably be like, I'll take the middle stage of the Dancing Bird and take. Oh my god, his name is completely gone from my head.
I should remember, but like I can't. I remember Quaxley and Quackable, but I think Quackable might be the.
Yeah,
unless that's something I'm making up. I don't think Quackable might not actually be involved at all.
Quaxwell.
We'll
call him Quaxwell.
You might be right, though.
Am I serious?
I don't know.
I'll take Quaxwell, and then I'll take. Oh my god, his name doesn't exist anymore. He was the one.
Of the fire?
Yeah.
Oh, Fuecoco.
Fuecoco. There we go. I dove Fuecoco, Quaxwell, and then Meowscarada.
Dylan.
Did we finally
have a pretty strong finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what its name is, but yeah, I also went with Fuecoco just because I felt like its final stage was a little I like its final stage a lot, but that one's a little too alligator.
No, I get it. I get
it. I felt like Meowscarada would be the perfect trickery one. Mm-hmm. I went with the middle stage being what we'll call Quaxwell. Let me see if I can find its name real quick. What is this thing called? It actually might be Quaxwell.
Is this... Oh no! I was right.
I honestly thought Quaxwell would be a case where the middle stage was actually the heavy hitter because I think it is a part fighting type. I don't know if it really reaches that in the third stage, but I felt like a second stage speed and power character would fit, while the third stage Meowscarada was our setup of trickery and things.
Yeah, the snake character.
Fuecoco is just I love this doofus.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't not pick Fuecoco. So anyway, that's how I would set up this team.
I like that.
Dylan, can you believe it if I were to tell you? Well, let me go ahead and just thank you for joining me for this. This was definitely not a new topic. There's probably several other people who have already discussed this exact thing. I'm not sure how mine compares to theirs. They probably went in full depth of moves and everything, but I just wanted to have a fun topic to talk about.
Just a little rough look at it, yeah.
And that's why I'm committed to doing it a second time, so you should like and subscribe so you don't miss the next topic, Sheriff Dylan, which is going to go with us being a little more wild. What if every Pokemon worked like Pokemon Trainer in Smash? So I want you to take this time between now and when we make that video to decide what other two Pokemon you would tag on to every other Pokemon in Smash. So you gotta come up with 2 partners for Pikachu, 2 partners for Pichu, so on and so forth. You get the idea.
Yeah.
What if every Pokemon in Smash was a team of 3? just because I want to have absurd conversations, and I want to hear everyone else's team setups for Pokemon trainers. In the comments below, let me know if you strongly disagree, strongly agree, what your team setup for each of these trainers would be. And then think to yourselves what you would do for those other two, for that other one. What if every Pokemon worked like Pokemon Trainer in Smash?
Yeah.
Working title.
Working title.
And see what you would do. What two members of Pokemon would you give to Mewtwo? Who would you tack onto Lucario? Who would you give onto Greninja and Incineroar?
I'll tell you what.
That's the stuff to think about. Don't tell me what now. Tell me
No,
when we record it.
I like this one. This one's gonna tune in next time.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a really. I am pulling out.
You have all the Pokemon to look through.
I'm pulling out.
So
heaters, my man.
I wanted to see what your team lineup would be and how it lines up with mine.
We're getting the heaters out then.
So that one we'll go into even further detail about, because we have to, like, this one, a lot of these are a little more self-explanatory, I feel. You know everyone's limited, but there's so many different combos we can make, and I want to know why.
Oh, yeah.
So join us next there, everyone. Love you. Made it. Click.